So he burned the Old Chen, which he is a member of the Shanghai Caring Committee. So he burned my story, my right story. So I was very angry at the moment. And then also I was wondering, seems like he saved me. So on the way back, the Old Chen looks like quite relieved. He said to me with a long sign, he said, "Don't mention today to anybody. Just pretending you never wrote, I never read." So that was very surprised what I heard, what he said. And he continued, he said, with a kind of a sympathetic turns. He said, "Actually, I liked your writing." He said, "When I was young, as your age, I liked to write. And that's why, why I end up working for the propaganda department in Shanghai." And somehow I started to changing at the beginning I was have a feeling toward him is hateful feelings for him. And somehow I'm changed. And I was started thinking in my heart, I said, for me, this 20 minutes journey is like every steps walking to the execution ground, because I was scared where I'm going to go, what are they going to do to me in jail, execution, all kind of things. But what's for him? So I was thinking maybe he also had deep down his heart, have some kind of struggle in his heart. It's how to dealing with me like a lost lamb. So it's gonna sell her, kill her, or save her. I think he probably get to this, not easy for him to make a choice. And that's just wondering me. And so I had talked about him. He is about 40 years old, something like that. And he is a secretary of the Minister of Propaganda Department in Shanghai. Quite a position. And not long ago, we had some kind of a welcome meeting. And so we were exchanging and some poet we wrote to say that we were loyal to Mao, to the party, that kind of revolutionary point. So he wrote something and I wrote something, so we read it. And but I found out he also liked Chinese traditional poetry. So that's what I like, but we cannot talk about it. So I think he also a little confused. Should we talk about those old poetry, or we just talk about revolution? So it's kind of, somehow it's a kind of mutual interest. And, somehow I think he saved me. Maybe he think he didn't want to destroy me in that point. That's what I thought, right? So when we approaching entrance of a village, and he suddenly stopped. Then he was turned very serious. He said that I have tests for you. Wow. I said, what? My heart immediately tightened again. I was relaxed for a while, and I just, And he said that there is a girl, about 18 years old, live a nearby village, also from Shanghai. And he was deeply influenced by Western culture and led her to a morally corrupt life.
Oh.
Say, tomorrow I'm going to give you her diary, and you're going to write a critical article and to denounce her. So that's my task. So in my heart, I really wanted to beg Old Chen to save that girl. Also is a lost lamb. And but meanwhile, selfishness and the coward, I don't know what I was, so I just immediately stopped the thinking and instead of I just accept, I was nod my head and silently, but I just like accepted this task. Well, but so I'm talking about 50 years later. I think about this. That's a part of a communism. I mean, this CCP, and they play this kind of role to divide and conquer people. So they got you, and then they say, "Okay, I saved you," but you had to denounce somebody else against somebody else. But you were gradually to do it because you were very grateful. They saved you. That kind of thing.
Psychological warfare.
Psychological war, yeah. And so on that night, he gonna give me tomorrow her diary or something. So that night I had a horrible nightmare, and I dreamed about this couple of this Liberation Army officer arrested me and this girl named Lynn, and push us to the dry well. And then they shouted to us, say the last chance. If you bend down begging for mercy, so you still have a chance to live. So the Old Chen was behind me. I'm talking about my dream, nightmare. Old Chen behind me, so he just violently kicked the back of my knee. So I just nailed it down on the ground. And so they didn't push me, but that girl, lean girl, still standing. So they just pushed her because she didn't kneel down, and push her into the dry well. And after that, they point out nearby have a bigger rock. And they ordered me to move the rock and to move the rock to the well. And the girl was underneath, was crying for help. And I was moving, push this rock. It was so heavy and so big. And I hold my breath. But finally, the rock loosened. And then falling in, slipped down to the well. So I was screaming and struggled out from my dream. So that's my nightmare. So for years, I don't want this nightmare to haunt me, but sometimes come back. Since I come to United States, I never come back. But until 2010, I'm visiting Israel, Jerusalem, when walking in the Rosa via the crucifixion, the road for the Jesus.
Sure.
And all of a sudden, the nightmare just broke into my mind. So I was thinking, now I understood why we need a Jesus, and through those thousands punishment and for all the thing we committed. And if don't have him, so who gonna carry the cross in my heart? So that thing I wrote when 50 years, they have this propaganda, the celebration, they want everybody to write about. So I write about this, exactly the words I said. And of course, they now want me to publish, and they want me to rewrite everything. And but at that moment, I just wanted to tell people how we've been through, how the communism, how to conquer and brainwash us, and to torture our soul, right? And so lots of people, I didn't really talk about it. I didn't went to the meeting to criticize her or what's happened to her afterwards. I didn't write it in that story. I will talk about that maybe next week. What's happened to her and what's happened to Old Chen, you know. Actually, 50 years, I'm looking for them. I met the Old Chen in the one of the occasion, the reunions. They invite him too. And, but of course, we never see the girl again. But I will tell the story. But I'm just talking about after that many years, many decades passed by, you know, the thing was still really haunting me.